Caleb Williams' dad wasn't in love with the idea of his son being a Chicago Bear based on, history and the truth.
This situation this is where quarterbacks have gone to die. Like, you look at Chicago, there hasn't been a lot of success.
Jaden Daniels took the Commanders to the NFC Championship game. Second-round pick, Heisman winner as well, just like Caleb Williams. Drake May showed some promise, didn't accomplish as much as it pertains to winning and losing. But Bo Nix with the Broncos took his team to the playoffs, showed a lot of offensive poise and promise. Meanwhile, the number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams, led a lot to be desired if we're just being honest and being frank.
Tell me if you've heard this before.
You can't go out and destroy the offseason, but not show up for the actual season.
We're the 3-time offseason champs here.
Champs,
back to back
champs.
to back, baby.
Undefeated.
The rings are
big and bright.
I know, it is a bit of deja vu, but this time it really is true. They bagged their generational quarterback prospect in 2024, and now in 2025, they've paired him with the hottest coach on the market. Add in some exciting offensive weapons and sensible free agents, and we might just be looking at the next NFC powerhouse. And who knows, I think it truthfully is officially time to admit that the Chicago Bears know exactly what they're doing. Okay, now for starters, yes, I know. Literally last year, we were all saying the exact same thing as the Chicago Bears. Yet again, they won the offseason. But I mean, what is that? 3 off seasons now where they've gone back to back to back as off-season champs. And I mean, truthfully, it just feels like things do feel a little bit different now, but we have seen this happen before. Caleb Williams clearly has all the tools to be an elite quarterback, but Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron were clearly not the coaches to nurture his talent. Ben Johnson, on the other hand, he most certainly is. This is a guy who turned the Detroit Lions of all teams into the slickest and most lethal offense in the NFL, and in doing so, he turned Jared Goff of all quarterbacks into an MVP candidate. So yes, I do think it's fair to say that Caleb Williams is in pretty good hands. I mean, getting Johnson through the door to be a head coach was a huge win for the Bears, but coaching wasn't even the worst issue with the team in 2024. That would be the offensive line, who appeared to be dead set on making Caleb Williams' life as tricky as possible in his rookie season. This involved giving up an insane 68 sacks, which was the most in the NFL. And truthfully, that is one way to ruin your first overall quarterback selection. And don't get me wrong, because Caleb Williams definitely does deserve a fair share of just why these sacks were happening, but I mean, you can't get past the fact that this offensive line last year was absolutely horrendous. So with the golden ticket of a head coach hired, the Bears set about rebuilding their quarterback's first line of defense. Drew Dahlman comes in at center on a 3-year, $42 million deal as the best center available during the 2025 offseason. He gave up just 4 sacks over the first 4 years of his career with Atlanta, earning a PFF grade of 82.3 in 2023 and 78.8 in 2024. That is an instant upgrade right there at a very important position, who is also a beast in the run game. Joe Thuney is the next big name added to the offensive line, adding some much needed veteran experience and quality. As a 4-time Super Bowl champ with the Chiefs and Patriots, this is a guy who certainly knows what winning football looks like, and his 4 selections to all-pro teams tell you just how talented he is. And yes, while he is a bit older at 32 years old, he should still have plenty left in the tank, and he just showed how versatile he can be, switching to left tackle down the stretch for the Chiefs in 2024. Then about the same time as that trade for Joe Thuney, they also acquired another guard, Jonah Jackson, from the LA Rams, giving up just a 6th-round pick to do so. Jackson actually does have some familiarity with Ben Johnson, having played for Detroit until 2023, which is great to see. If Johnson wants him in the building, he clearly values what this guy has to offer, which is more good news for Caleb Williams. On top of these free agents and trade additions, the Bears also brought in Ozzie Trapillo in the 2nd round of the 2025 NFL Draft, bolstering the depth of the line and making sure that there's some young talent set to come through and protect Caleb throughout the remainder of his rookie deal too. Trapillo is a 6'8", 316-pound behemoth, which is what you love to see from someone tasked with protecting the face of the franchise. He has quick feet and a powerful punch, although his size can sometimes lead to him becoming a little bit unbalanced, but that won't be a problem though, as he can sit behind veteran tackles and refine his technique before properly being unleashed in the years to come. And don't get me wrong, because protecting your franchise quarterback, that's the first thing you have to do no matter what. But once you've solved that problem, then you have to kind of tool them with enough weapons for them to be successful, which is something that we saw that didn't happen with Justin Fields when he was in Chicago. I mean, the same truthfully could be said for Bryce Young's disastrous rookie season too, with DJ Moore the team's only good weapon, ironically being traded to Chicago as a part of the dramatic trade in 2023. Caleb Williams certainly did have an enviable set of playmakers to work with in his rookie season, or at least so it seemed, we thought. We've already spoken about how his offensive line was letting him down, but also he was a little let down by his pass catchers as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, Caleb's spotty accuracy didn't help, but DJ Moore's effort on the field was questionable at times, and Keenan Allen's age made him a less useful target than expected, and you could also argue that Allen's presence kind of blocked Rome Odunze's path to more targets. Regardless though, he's out the door, and in the draft, the Bears addressed those needs, and they brought in 2 new pass catchers that are really going to just, I think, elevate this offense to a new level. Now, first up, we have Colston Loveland, a tight end from Michigan who won a national championship under Jim Harbaugh in 2023. The 2024 season was a little bit underwhelming for Loveland, whose yardage declined to 582 yards. However, this was largely to do with the poor play under center for the Wolverines, with JJ McCarthy in a large swath of talent departing in the 2024 NFL Draft. I mean, still though, Loveland is undeniably a very exciting talent. He runs a lot of his routes like a wide receiver, but brings aggression and toughness in the run game. It was hard to get away from Tyler Warren as the most hyped tight end in the 2025 class, with him taking over games on a weekly basis and racking up 1,233 yards, but it's easy to see why some teams did prefer Loveland over him. And I mean, truthfully, I really don't think that's that crazy of a take anymore. NFL insider Ian Rappaport reported that there were plenty of teams trying to trade inside the top 10 to draft this guy, so it's clear he was loved by NFL front offices. It's also notable that Ben Johnson decided to make Loveland the first selection of his tenure in Chicago. The team was already pretty comfortable from a pass-catching standpoint with Rome Odunze and DJ Moore in the building, and with Cole Kmet locked up at the tight end position, but they still decided to bring in one of the top tight ends in the draft. Johnson clearly has a plan for Loveland, and people have been quick to point to the success Johnson had with Sam Laporta as a rookie. If there's a future for Loveland that can match or better the start that Laporta has had over his first 2 seasons in Detroit, then Chicago fans will be in love with this kid. Then in the second round, the Bears drafted Missouri wide receiver Luther Burden, a fascinating prospect who has about as much upside as anyone else in the 2025 wide receiver class, but is coming off the back of a very underwhelming 2024 campaign. In 2023, the dude was simply electric, racking up 1,212 yards and 9 touchdowns, and showing off immense explosive ability and natural fluidity at speed. Like, I mean, you put the ball in this kid's hands, and the chances are a big play is going to happen. Unfortunately, though, considerably worse quarterback play and general offensive quality for Missouri contributed to his stats dipping last year to 676 yards and 6 touchdowns. I mean, still, personally, I love this wide receiver. He is a freaky athlete, and if anyone can bring out and utilize that form, it's Ben Johnson. People are even comparing the selection to what Johnson had with Amon-Ra St. Brown in Detroit as well. So, I mean, alongside an already exciting partnership of DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, who fans are expecting to make a big leap in 2024, Ben Johnson has now added his version of Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown, so it's really not that bad at all. Most importantly though, general manager Ryan Poles and Johnson have loaded up the offense with as many pass-catching weapons as possible for their sophomore quarterback. We know that Williams has all the arm talent in the world, and now he has 3 exciting young playmakers to grow with alongside the veteran presence of DJ Moore. Between Moore, Odunze, Kmet, Loveland, and Burden, it's fair to say that Williams should always have an inviting target to aim at when dropping back, and one who will be capable of making a big play for the team. I mean, we haven't even mentioned running back either, where DeAndre Swift will also be capable of chipping in as a receiver. However, we do know that Swift doesn't exactly have good history with Johnson, with the new head coach moving on from him when they both were in Detroit. Hold out that room, because when looking at the depth chart, there just is literally that only weakness now with the running backs unless Roschon Johnson does emerge as a breakout candidate. I mean, truthfully, in loading out the offense this way too, the Chicago Bears have now given Caleb Williams everything he needs to succeed, so there are no excuses now. I mean, truthfully, the Bears' 2025 season comes down to if Caleb Williams can take that next step and just serve all of the weapons that he has at his disposal. And I mean, truthfully, the Bears really need him to do that. They really need him to take that next step so that way they can just feel some sense of winning that they haven't felt in years. Ryan Poles was a little bit on the hot seat last year and could really use a playoff berth to take the pressure off. I really do think that most people do think he has built a solid roster around Caleb, but we all thought that last year, and look at how that went. Like, I think the dude's definitely going to be feeling the pressure and will desperately be hoping that Caleb can turn it on this year and buy him a few more years of grace with the fans. And speaking of Bears fans, it's been endless years of believing the team was ready to take the next step to pretty much only be let down. The 12-win season with Matt Nagy and Mitchell Trubisky appeared to be a turning point in 2018, only for Nagy to not post another winning season and be gone 3 years later. This crossed over with Justin Fields, the last first-round quarterback who was pegged as the savior, only to be poorly coached and badly equipped, all but ruling out any chances of him succeeding. Which then that brings us to Caleb. When he was selected first overall in 2024, Bears fans finally believed again that they were ready to take the leap, only to then be let down once again. Time and time again, this fan base has believed that they were about to embark on a new era of better football, only to be let down in heartbreaking fashion. The good news, though, is that things are lining up well in the division for this to all work out. The NFC North is widely regarded as the most competitive division in football, and it certainly was in 2024, with 3 teams hitting double-digit wins and making the playoffs. And sorry, Bears fans, because you came in last with a 5-12 record. Now, that's the thing though, heading into 2025, there are a lot of question marks around the NFC North just from all of the teams, not only the Bears. The Detroit Lions, as we all know though, have lost both their offensive and defensive coordinators who have gone to take head coaching positions, as both Aaron Glenn and Chicago's new hero Ben Johnson were regarded as 2 of the best coordinators in the NFL, which makes both departures at the same time a significant challenge for Detroit to deal with. Then over in Minnesota, you have Sam Darnold and his 4,300 yards and 35 touchdowns walking out the door to be replaced by a rookie who has not yet played a meaningful snap of football. And yes, opinions of JJ McCarthy are very high, and Kevin O'Connell is the perfect head coach to get him comfortable quickly, but it's undeniably another unknown with significant downside. Green Bay definitely looks much of the same as they did in 2024, except with the addition of the wide receiver in Matthew Golden. So I mean, if he can come in and be the number 1 guy that offense needs, then they definitely will be a threat for sure, but they have found a knack for falling just short in recent years. Bears have never looked better. And overtime is beginning, ladies and gentlemen. If you made it to this part of the video, make sure that you comment overtime to let me know that you made it this far in the video, and I appreciate it. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys haven't, make sure you jump in the Discord too, where we are going to be talking about anything and everything, more football there. Even help you guys try to grow your own channels if you guys want to start that, but that's a whole different thing. Right now, we have to talk about the Bears because truthfully, like I was talking about in this video, the Chicago Bears are... I don't even know where to start with the Chicago Bears. I have a friend that's a Bears fan, and I feel bad for him because we just keep trolling him because they've won the offseason now 3 times in a row. They've hung postseason. I meant offseason. They've won the offseason 3 years in a row now. They won it the year before when they made the trade for DJ Moore. They won it the next year when they got Caleb Williams. And then they won it this year when they made all these additions to try and make Caleb Williams better. Oh, I got to start the timer too. Might be a little bit longer today. Let me get this backed up. There we go. So, I mean, truthfully, like, the Bears need to figure it out, especially if Ryan Poles wants to keep a job. Like I was saying, he needs to figure it out, and Caleb needs to turn it on this year. I mean, the dude last year had 3,000, I'm going to read right here, had 3,541 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions, along with 489 rushing yards in 2024. I don't know how many rushing touchdowns. I don't have that stat right now, but I mean, despite all the early concerns, the dude looks like he has the leadership and he has the upside. We saw those moments from Caleb Williams throughout the year, and I think that it's almost like when you get a rookie quarterback, I don't know what it is about offensive coordinators and coaches, but they don't roll these guys out. They don't move them out of the pocket like they kind of did with Caleb, I guess, a little bit more than I saw like with Bryce Young in his rookie year and second year even. But they got to move them out, you know. They got to use those legs that we're all moving in that Patrick Mahomes kind of style, Josh Allen kind of style. They need to use their legs. So I think that is the thing too, is if they can, and the way Ben Johnson calls games too, it's a lot of bootlegs. He had a lot of Jared Goff on the move and was establishing the run game, which I think that's kind of why they drafted Loveland too. I think we're going to see a lot of 2 tight end sets, run the ball, bootleg with Caleb Williams, because it's going to be interesting to see the offensive coordinator that had the top leading offense in the league last year, Coach Caleb Williams, because if they can get Caleb Williams going along with Rome Odunze, Luther Burden, who I loved, I think Luther Burden is going to be the best wide receiver prospect, obviously besides Travis Hunter. That dude's just a freak of nature in his own place, but I really like Luther Burden more than I liked McMillan personally. For me, I think McMillan's gonna be pretty mid, I think. So again, that's a whole different video, but I think that they addressed all the holes they had on offense. Okay, they brought in veterans on the offensive line, and that was the big thing too. We didn't know really how good Caleb Williams was because, well, I mean, the dude was getting sacked damn near like as soon as he would get the ball. It was like there was nobody blocking. It was almost as bad as CJ Stroud. At points, it looked like CJ Stroud might have had a little worse, but I mean, the one thing I didn't talk about though that I think definitely should have got mentioned in the video that I didn't have time to mention was this defense too. Their defense has been solid for 3-4 years now. So, I mean, right here again, I have it right here. The defense allowed just 17.1 points per game over the final 8 games of the 2024 season after acquiring Montez Sweat. Okay. I mean, I had on top of that Jalen Johnson and then Tyree Stevenson, who's in his second year going into his third year. The Bears defense is very, very good, which I think if they can keep playing well and play and carry that into this year, why couldn't the Bears make the playoffs? Again, let me know in the comments what you guys think the Bears are going to do. Give me a record prediction, something like that, because I just really like what the Bears have done this offseason too. And add on top of that too, I got my notes right here because I wanted to make sure I got this right because I had to reread this a couple times. They have the 4th, again, these might be a little bit wrong and maybe it's like 5th, 6th, but it's from what I got, okay, with my research and all the metrics and stuff, you know. They have the 4th easiest 2025 schedule based off 2024 opponent win percentages. On top of that, 5 of their first 9 games are against last place 2024 teams. So, I mean, think about that. During those first 9 games, if they win 6 games, you're 6-3 after 9 games. That's it. Again, the Lions, I'm nervous to watch what the Lions do this year because they lost both their coordinators. It might be a little bit of a sophomore slump for them. I'm not saying they're going to go like 4-13, but the Lions might only win like 10 games maybe if they can't figure it out. So I think it just gives them a lot of opportunity to build momentum early, get Caleb Williams, get going, get all those guys that they got the ball. I think that it could be a big thing to see, especially with that favorable schedule. That could be a big thing, but that's something that I wanted to bring up too, that's super just favorable for the Bears as well. And I mean, truthfully, the only concerns that I really do have for this team is more so their pass rush depth. I think depth is what I should say. I do think I only got 30 seconds, but I think that if after Montez Sweat, they don't really have a lot of edge rushers and things like that. So they're going to have to figure that out, along with just Caleb Williams continuing to develop with his wide receivers and tight ends that they just brought in. So I think it's just going to be a lot of just kind of growing pains at the beginning of the year, but they have that favorable schedule. I think it's really going to help them out a lot. So again, if you made it this far in the video, make sure you comment over time to let me know you made it to this part of the video. I appreciate you guys. Hop in the Discord where we can continue this conversation. We're going to be doing everything over there this year. We're going to be doing some live streams in there and everything and talking about your guys' YouTube channels, helping you out, as well as what's just going on in the NFL and everything. So as always, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next one.